guys, it's Vanessa. I'm reporting live from Accra, Ghana. I just got here. My first impressions, it feels like I'm at home, but I'm really not because it's way too organized, way too clean, and just like way too straightforward. But this is day one of our 7 days here, and right now we are heading to the tourist center to have our orientation. Yeah, Ghana is really nice. I mean, I've only been here for like 20 minutes, but it's really nice so far. I think like Nigerians can learn something from Ghanaians. Not every time rah rah rah. Sometimes like relax. Okay, I will update you when I get to the hotel. Bye.
Amen.
Ago!
Amen.
Before we enter, I want to show you something. Right above the male dungeons was a church. The Church of England, or the Anglican Church. So ironically, whilst God was worshipped, others died and mourned right underneath the church. If we should visit Elmina Castle, same happened. The Dutch constructed their church on the female dungeon. The dungeons we are about to see accommodated about 1,000 men when it was filled up. And they lived in there for about 3 months. So the maximum days waiting on the ships was about 3 months. Because as we all know, the journey depended on the winds, the current. If the current or the wind was bad, you spent so much time. So I will lead you through the male dungeons. We have 3 steps down. The last step drops a bit. Let's keep to the left whilst we go. And from what I also know is there's let's go to the third room, and I'll show you where the Anglican Church was. The Anglican Church is the third is directly and Charles. Watch yourself. Tunnel, the male dungeon. That is how come through the tunnel. We are right across. Behind you, find tunnel box. Right, and in front of you, you find guns. You find lots of them. What does that tell you? There's a lot of fighting among the Europeans. So brothers and sisters, at some point in time, the Europeans realized that the war among them for Africa was doing them no good. So the idea is, why don't we come together and share this piece of cake among us? So around the 1900s, they met in Germany, Berlin. In our history books, we call it the Berlin Conference. Africa was brought forward like a piece of cake, and they started cutting. I'll tell you where some of the pieces went. So bear in mind that before they came, we didn't have any boundaries. We didn't have anything like Ghana map, Nigerian map or this. We only identified the area with the particular people, the tribe of people who were there. Nigeria, some part of South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and all that went to the English. So Namibia was actually German. But later, when the Germans were defeated in one of the world wars, I think the English had it. France had Senegal, Togo, Benin, you name it. So we had the boundaries. And the boundaries the Europeans created, you know, this is the truth, brought us a lot of problems. Now it's really easy for us to fight among ourselves. I'll tell you why. So let's say we are all family members. We are family members, extended family members, because we Africans believe in the extended family system. Yeah. Now, a line was drawn. So one side of the line says Ghana, England. The other line says France, Togo. So for example, if the French and the English are fighting in Europe, we are also here fighting among ourselves. Because we now swear allegiance to our various colonial masters. Some of these demarcations were also made in the name of resources. That is why some countries in Africa, they know no peace now. One of those countries is Congo. Normally I ask people what they know about Congo. And the answer is, it's a place of diseases, war, famine. But people don't know that Congo has all the natural resources on earth. Which one king of Europe, what is his name? King Leopold. So maybe when you go back home, search for King Leopold's ghost. This man committed a lot of atrocities in Belgium, Congo, just to enrich himself, the crown in Belgium. Similar is going on in Congo. You know, Congo is a war-torn area. They have everything on earth. Natural resources, name it, uranium. And even currently, with our mobile phones and laptops, the component, Congo produces about 80% of that material in the world. So I tell the truth. I say, you know, they report that it's some rebel factions fighting in Congo, but it's not really rebel factions. It's the world war among the world powers, just to take the resources. Because now, if you know peace among yourself, you make good use of your resources. If you don't know no peace, so now I ask this question: what is the UN doing about it? Because they all know what the war is about. So this is what I want to share to my brothers and sisters. Because often they will report to you. See, normally they make the whole thing sound like, they hit our heads together. In the media, they report Africa negatively to you, and back home, they also report it negatively. So that is why Ghana is setting the way. Kwame Nkrumah started. We are continuing. That's why we have Panafest. That's why we have Emancipation Day. That is why we have Year of Return. So that brothers and sisters can come home and see the reality on the ground. That all that they tell you is lie. We love you. We embrace you. And I say, you are not tourists. You are my ancestors. You are the part that was forcibly taken away from here. I embrace you and I welcome you.
Right.
Because I say, Africa has all the natural resources on earth. And I know very well that my brothers and sisters at the diaspora are not only rappers or athletes, no. We have engineers, we have doctors. And with that expertise, we bring it back home to share with us.
Sure.
And I know that day will come. As Marcus Garvey said, it's going to come. It has started. And I know it will continue. Ashe.
And it's the only country in Africa today that speaks Spanish. The discovery of oil caused a huge economic boom, and so ecotourism is actually very strong in the country that you share ancestry with. The people of the country are actually indigenous to this land. They are the Bubi people of Bioko Island, which is part of Equatorial Guinea. Congratulations. B-U-B-I. And so for those of you, I didn't put any country names on the map, so you'll have to talk to your neighbor and figure out where Equatorial Guinea is, but I'll show you. So this is Equatorial Guinea. Right what color is it? And Bioko Island is just off the coast. Right here. Below Gabon. Right here. Little tiny one. Yeah. Now, who is it? Education, government, and the arts. So the tea cards tend to be the artists of the culture. They're very well known for this bronze casting process where they make masks. And they were actually printing on paper before colonial powers decided to come to the continent. So you all share ancestry with the tea card people in Cameroon. Congratulations. All of you. So now if Tiffany and okay, hold on. I'm so excited. Gotta get my bearings. Okay. Here's who I want to stay up here with me. Gail, Elliot, Karen, Vanessa, Quentin, Natasha, Tiffany, and Stephanie. Everyone else, welcome to the African Ancestry family, and please join Nicole and Sandy for your results and your t-shirt. Group up.
I know. Why not? We did it already. I know.
Okay. So now there's another group in Cameroon that you all share ancestry besides the tea card. Now let me explain before you start getting confused, because you're like, she already told me I'm from Bioko Island. Now she's saying I'm from Cameroon. Well, let me show you where Cameroon is on the map. It's right right next to Bioko Island. Okay? This is Cameroon. This is Bioko Island. So these borders are artificially and politically drawn, and there are genetic similarities between groups, but they may be different socially. So you can think of it like a sorority, right? You may be, I'm an AKA, I live in D.C. I may have an aunt who's a Delta, and she lives in D.C. We have the same genetics, but we belong to different groups. So that's sort of how we can find multiple groups, or even countries, for the same DNA, okay? So in addition to the T-Car people, you also share ancestry with the Hausa people. And the Hausa are in northern Cameroon, and they border northern Nigeria, where you also find Hausa people. You're smiling, are you? All right, and so you all are both T-Car as well as Hausa. And so, congratulations, ladies. Welcome to the family. All right, you all can see Sandy and Nicole for your results. You all are still here. But there's one more group. The T-Car, the Hausa, and the Fulani all have similar genetic makeups, but are different groups. And the Fulani are the nomads. So we're going to hear from, you're going to find that you have cousins here tonight. We were Fulani from other countries, maybe Nigeria or Mali or Senegal, because the Fulani moved all across Africa. But because we have the largest database of African lineages in the world, we have Fulani samples from each of those countries. Your samples match with the Fulani who are living in Cameroon today. Okay? That's it. That's all I got for you. Congratulations. Cameroon today. But your groups are different. So, Letitia, don't listen to me. James, don't listen to me. James, don't listen to me. But the others of you, you share ancestry with a group of people called the Bamaleke. The Bamaleke. And do you know where Cameroon is? Do you have your map? So this is Cameroon. This is Cameroon. The Bamaleke are grouped under chiefdoms. And they're very enterprising. They play quite an important role in Cameroon's economic development. And they are traders, artisans, and professionals, but they're pretty much known as business people of Cameroon, okay? And so that's your ancestry. You all of you Cameroonians have some pretty famous cousins, people like Taraji P. Henson, Quincy Jones, Representative Karen Bass, Erica Badu. These are all your cousins. So I want to congratulate the Bamaleke and welcome you to the African Ancestry family. Give it up for the Bamaleke. And so you guys can go get your result. Migration pattern came from East Africa. Congratulations. And Letitia, you share ancestry with the Mafa people, M-A-F-A, of Cameroon. They're in the northern mountains of Cameroon, and they live off of agriculture and the breeding of cattle, and they're known as fierce warriors. Congratulations. Okay, Diallo told me to go fast. Orishas, you'll find them in Brazil and Cuba, and Tosin, who's been traveling with us as a videographer, he is also Yoruba. Congratulations. Andrea, Janice, and Kari, you are also Fulani. So you all are my cousins, because I trace my maternal ancestry to the Fulani people. So welcome to the fam. And then Jeanette and Denisha, ladies, you are Hausa, the Hausa people of Nigeria. And the Hausa are known as the traders, T-R-A-D-E-R-S, traders. Mary and Paul, you all are Igbo.
Igbo.
You are the Igbo people. They're probably the most dispersed people in Nigeria and are known primarily for their, or not primarily, but in large part for their mask making. And then Derek Johnson, you share ancestry with the Kanuri people living in Nigeria today. And I thought that this was a particularly interesting fact. To a Kanuri, the most valuable asset, economically, politically, and socially, is not dollars or money, but the valuable and profitable social relationship. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone. Can we have your gift? So, your ancestry we found among the Akani group.
Oh, yeah.
I see that. Congratulations.
Yeah, the Akam people.
That means they were in there.
Yes.
We're going to keep our visa. We're going to keep your visa. Keep your
Yeah, don't go back.
This is way too much.
No, we need a picture.
Please give everybody another round of applause. We are happy for this family, and we are also happy because we've been threatened that if somebody goes to Ghana, they will revoke our visa. So thank you.
Thank you for being from Ghana.
This is my time. God always had a time for everybody and everything. And this is my time. And I'm here. And God has put so many young men in my life to push me, to pull me, to get me where I can get to the river and all of the places that I've been since I've been here. I haven't had to want for nothing. Everybody's been so great. And I'm just thankful that I'm here at 88 years old. Soon will be.
88.
I will be in the last day of October. I'll be 88.
Have you been able to trace your route to any of these African countries?
Say what?
Have you been able to trace your roots to any of these African countries?
I hadn't tried, but now that I've heard how I can do it, talk to somebody who has been doing it, then I will know more about how to do it when I get back to Georgia.
So the experience you've had here, what message are you carrying across now that you're going back? What's the message?
So much I don't remember. I can't say. I've had a beautiful experience with lots of different people and things. So it's just been wonderful.
Okay.
You might have to size is this?
Is this double weaving?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a rhythm.
Tap, yeah, there you go.
Tap, rhythm. Tap.
She's trying to get her husband. Okay. I'm gonna get me a goddamn man. We're hired.
Students. So the two of them were Harvard's first black students. But he came out first. And then the other one followed later.
Are there no furnishings of the period from when he was here that
Okay,
have
so
survived?
this is equally a furniture. Depends on what you mean by furniture. If you are talking about chairs that they sat in, then the stools we saw in there were also part of their furniture. But the main ones that we find in our living room spaces with tables and others, the house was a gift from Nkrumah's government to the Boises. Now, after Nkrumah's government was overthrown by a coup d'etat in 1966, we have several people living in here. So if they don't have use for those chairs, they might have taken it out, or either it's been taken away by somebody, we can't tell. But this one, because it's inbuilt, you can't move it. So this is safe, and then the stools as well. But for bed and chairs and other things, I can't tell you where they are.
Sure what? I was like, I'm to make sure that's not in my photo.
Oh yeah, on the eve of Dr. Luther King's march in Washington. Du Bois died at the age of 95 years. And we have his academic gowns and boots camera. So those were his academic gowns and boots. The Du Boises have also sympathized with Chinese communism. Dr. Du Bois, Shirley Du Bois, and all others were Pan-Africanists, including Nkrumah, and they sympathized with Chinese communism and had traveled to China during the 1900s. In fact, Du Bois was introduced to China by Shirley Du Bois, and we can see some gifts they received from China. This one and the other two tapestries in the corner were gifts he received on his 91st birthday, which was a national holiday in his memory whilst he was visiting China. And he was hosted by our chairman Mao Zedong at the time. The deer depicts peace, the cane, leadership, the scroll up there depicts wisdom, his gray hair and gray beard depicts old age, and the fruit depicts charity. That is pomegranate, which has a lot of seeds in it. Yeah. And then those were his academic gowns and boots. And in the glass case in the middle, there are some 3 red books, which were the first copies of the Encyclopedia Africana that he worked on. So he had worked with a team of professors from across the continent. And before any institution or any government or country can start a program like or a project like that, you need to inform the entire world about that, because it is a scientific project. And all institutions and students who would want to refer to such a book would have to refer to it and cite it properly. So they had written to all institutions in the world, informing them about the Encyclopedia Africana. It was favorably accepted before the project started. And he named the project office Encyclopedia Africana Project Office. It is still in existence. And those 3 books were copied or published to celebrate what the Boises did whilst they were living here. So within the 2 years, he had gathered information on the 8 African countries on whose information printed in the 3 books that we find there. And then on top of those books, we have some gifts that he had received from the World Peace Committee. So Du Bois, if we should describe him with one word, I would say he was phenomenal. For his age, he was a visionary. Nkrumah had taken him as his mentor. He also was a visionary. He became, as a mentee, he became a staunch Pan-Africanist as well. Today we have this monument here to celebrate what they have done. The hope is that we continue in their stead, that we don't retrogress, but rather progress. These were men and women who were fighting against all forms of exploitation, repression and oppression against our race as black people, wherever we find ourselves, whether on the continent or in the diaspora. And that is what we should continue to champion or fight for, instead of being eaten up with all forms of corruption and exploitation. So we also have some family photographs of theirs and some handwritten notes and manuscripts. The room comes with a walk-in closet and their bathroom, and those are the most original of the house. We've not touched those rooms. And the bathroom is just for us to see and enjoy what they used, or what they used while they were here. But it is not for public use, so you can just walk in and take photos or look around. And then from here we would see some 2 rooms which are open. The first one was Dr. Shirley Graham Du Bois' home office, and we've dedicated that to the memory of all women. And someone asked if Nana Goma is part of the legacy, and I said Nana Goma is not noted to be a Pan-Africanist, but as a woman, I think she had also contributed her quota towards the husband's success. Most of the time, when men are progressing, we don't hear about the women. All we hear is, to every successful woman, there's a man, there's a woman behind. But the woman is not behind. I know Nana Goma had exclusively helped Du Bois with some illustrations whilst he was working for the NAACP2. And so she had equally contributed. The room dedicated to all women has photos of both Shirley Graham Du Bois and Nana Goma. Without her, we will not have descendants of the Du Boises. So she's equally part of it. She was very quiet and conserved, so you hardly hear about her. But even from the photos, you can tell that she was a quiet woman. Shirley Graham Du Bois was politically, I would say, radical than Du Bois was. If you listen to her and you hear some of her words and her speeches, you will know what I'm talking about. Du Bois was also hitting it right there, but as a woman, I prefer Shirley Graham Du Bois. She was Ghana's first director of television too, and the world's first woman to have organized an all-black orchestra while she was still a student with Oberlin College. We don't hear of such women because, I don't know whether because they are blacks or because the US government sees them as traitors. Yeah, so we don't hear about these women.
Let me interject something. Shirley Graham's great-grandfather, Charles Satchel, was the first black pastor of the oldest predominant black church of Baptists in the western United States, Third Baptist, which I'm now pastor. I've been pastoring it now for 43 years. And Dr. Du Bois and his wife celebrated his 90th birthday at Third Baptist, April the 13th, 1958, before he went to China to be with Chairman Mao. And if you would like, I have pictures of that event and the program where he spoke that I can send to you. Now, Charles Satchel was in Cincinnati, Ohio. He and John Mercer Langston Hughes, the great poet's great uncle, they were leaders in Cincinnati in the 1840s and 50s in Cincinnati of the abolitionist movement. And later under Monroe, they were against blacks being sent back to Africa as Lincoln was planning on doing. So I thought I would interject that. But there's a classic picture of Dr. Du Bois in our fellowship hall at Third Baptist, cutting his cake, and Ms. Graham by his side, and also a huge picture of him addressing a capacity audience. It was the most interracial audience that had hit San Francisco back in 1958. So I would like to send that to you so that you can add that to the collection, because Charles Satchel also was a great preacher who established all of the independent Black Baptist churches in Northern California before the Civil War. And he mined gold up in the Caribou, up there between British Columbia and Alaska. So you see there's a great connection here. We need to get hooked up here with this center and with blacks who are in America, because he made his impact, and he was not just a scholar. He was engaged and involved, and so was Miss Shirley.
I hope you've
Grant.
seen Du Bois's prayers. He has a whole book on
I know,
prayer.
I got the prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for letting me butt in.
Hi guys, I'm back. The last time you saw me, it was my first day in Accra, and now it's my almost last day in Accra, but you know, life happened in between.
I know. Come on, you would have stopped me.
Today we are just doing a tour of the city. We just came from the Du Bois Center. I got some footage for that. And right now we're heading to Kwame Nkrumah Museum. I'm vlogging. Don't laugh at me.
I really do.
I'm heading to Kwame Nkrumah Museum I don't really know what I'm going to see in there, and then we're going to go to the market, because that's the most important thing for me, is going to the market and buying stuff for all the 11 people back at home. And so, yeah, so far I really, really enjoy Ghana. I'm definitely coming back. I don't know when, but I'm definitely coming back.
See what I'm saying?
So I am at Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, and it's actually beautiful. It's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful park, and just learning a lot about Kwame Nkrumah. That's his statue behind me. I'm gonna try and get a picture. But yeah, whenever I say Ghana, like here's Kwame Nkrumah, and so this is his park. When I watch Ghanaian movies, like I see this a lot as one of their landmarks, with him pointing forward, and he has like a saying about, you know, forward always, backwards never. And so I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so like blessed to have this opportunity. So this is what the park looks like. But okay, my tour's starting.
The English name is Edward, but I prefer to be called Kofi.
Kofi.
Yes, because I was born on a Friday. So this is a memorial for our first president. He was called Kwame Nkrumah.
And he was born on a Saturday.
Saturday, as a male. Now, the reason why we have the monument here is that during our colonial era, this was where the British chose to play polo. So this was called Old Polo Grounds and meant for only British. Natives were not allowed to come here. So symbolically, Kwame Nkrumah chose the same place for his independence speech. So that's the importance of this part to our history. So let's come this way.
Where's Reverend Brown?
Yes, I do.
Abdul is right here.
Abdul is right there. This is a vendor that's been following us since Kumasi. I cannot believe it.
Finally laid to rest. But the shape of the structure has got its own symbolic meaning, which is all about him. So he was our president until 1966, when his government was unfortunately overthrown. So he had to go into exile in a country called Guinea, also in West Africa. So from up to the days, it looks so much like a tree stump. It's like a tree growing, but cut up in the middle. One meaning is that he couldn't finish what he was doing for us before he was overthrown. So more or less, it represents his unfinished works. And often in our villages in Ghana and other parts of the continent, when our farmers are from their farms and tired, they will rest under the shade of a tree. So it's very down there. I believe that it's also kind of resting under a shade of a tree. Hello. Now, since this place was built, a lot of people have visited here, most of them African heads of state, and some were made to plant trees. The mango tree that was planted by Nelson Mandela.
Which one? Oh, wow.
Just to So this is the mausoleum that contains Kwame Nkrumah's final remains. And since he died, this was actually his third burial place. He was our president until 1966, when his government was unfortunately overthrown. So he had to go into exile in a country called Guinea, also in West Africa, where he was accepted and made co-president because of the role he also played in their independence struggle. So he lived in Guinea but fell sick. They took him to Bucharest, Romania, for his treatment, where he died of prostate Kente in 72 at 63. So his body was embalmed and then taken back to Guinea, where he was given a state funeral and burial as co-president. 3 months later, they moved his body to his village because when he died, his mother was still alive and it was the mother's only child. So she was asking, they brought him home. That was where he was, this place was built, and they moved him to this particular mountain. And he married an African. His wife was an Egyptian. She died in 2007. She's very good. The military coup against his government in 66. A lot of his things were unfortunately vandalized in the process. So the statue was also cooled down during the coup, so we lost some of the parts. And until recently, even the broken head of the statue was also missing. It was just 2009.
That you got it back?
Yes, that somebody returned it.
Who had it?
It happened to be a woman who was one of his sympathizers. So more or less, she found and kept it safe for all these years.
Wow.
And to keep the history still alive, that's why it was mounted separate from the body.
Interesting.
Like to go yes. Let's come inside.
So it's our last day. I'm just having breakfast at my hotel. The Kempinski is to die for. For breakfast, I'm having fresh coconut. Then it's a buffet style. Just have waffles, hash browns, tomatoes, boiled egg, and I don't know what this is, but I heard it was good. And you can get champagne. So I'll do a little tour of what they have, but it's very, very good. 100% recommend. So it's the last day. Some major serious shopping. I wanted to show you guys what the pool area looks like and what the hotel area looks like in general, and so we're gonna go on a little tour. Follow me.
This might